The best thing about Putney Hill for us really is the shape. It's an amazing place in terms of the hill and the valley, and I think that's created a great opportunity to have this really special meeting place for the community around the pond. We've always seen the central parkland and the lake as being a place where people can meet and spend time, and really becomes a bit of a gathering and sort of meeting place for the community. The style of landscape has very much an Australian native flavour. We've got about 80% Australian natives that will be planted through the public spaces and internal residential spaces as well. We've really worked hard to bring the landscape into the internal living spaces of each residence and made sure that from any place within that residence you can get glimpses of that green backdrop that those gardens will provide. For us, this is just a great example of architecture and landscape working hand in hand to achieve a fantastic outcome.
It was very important that we gave equal weight to landscape and architecture, and the way we've done this as designers is to be collaborative. We work with Adam Hunter and his team at Environmental Partnership. Each side introduces different ideas. The landscape architects are allowed to have an architectural idea, and we're allowed to have a landscape idea, and we swap it round and see who comes up with the best ideas, and then we integrate them. I think the best thing about Putney Hill is the place that's being created, and that the wonderful qualities that we saw before we designed anything will be here after we have designed everything, and that somebody coming to live here will experience that, and whatever type of dwelling you buy, whatever stage of life you're at, whatever you can afford, whether it's a smaller apartment or a grander house, everybody will have the same sense of space and landscape. They can all live inside, outside, and they can enjoy the common features like the park. So everybody gets so much on this site, and I can't think of another site in Sydney where you can get all these things in one place.
Well, one of the attractions of Putney Hill as a piece of land, if you like, is that in many ways it's a secluded oasis in the heart of the Putney Ryde neighbourhood. There's no doubt in my mind that when this community is complete, the quality of the houses will be a standout, not only in the Ryde Putney area, but I think generally speaking across broader Sydney. In developing communities such as Putney Hill, personally I get a lot of satisfaction in seeing these developments grow over time and the communities taking on their own life. And I think it's that diversity of community is something that I think is going to make this quite a special place in the years to come.
I think the best thing about living at Putney Hill is that you are close to the city and yet you are also a world away. As soon as you come off Victoria Road and over that first rise, you're basically in tranquility. To have the local infrastructure so well established, our very own Lardelli Park, is a wonderful thing. I've had a professional involvement with Frasers now for over a decade. It's been a wonderful period. I've really enjoyed the journey. I work exclusively selling Frasers Property developments. I've been drawn to Frasers because of their focus on architectural integrity and quality. Actually, one of the most rewarding parts of my work is handing the keys over at completion and experiencing the pleasure of people realising what they have actually purchased. I may have met a buyer 2 years previously and encouraged them to take that leap of faith somewhat, perhaps working just off a plan, and now to give them the keys and see their expression knowing they're moving into their new home. I think that would be the most rewarding part of my job.
My wife is actually looking forward to entertaining more because we will now have a bigger family home, and there'll be more facilities and space for enable to have family friends come over for dinners, barbecues and other family gatherings. We were both very excited by the development because it covered most of the things that we're looking for in a house in terms of the characteristics, the location. The park and pond was a pleasant surprise because that just encompasses the neighbourhood family feel that we're looking for, and you know, I can see myself taking my son for a walk down there to kick the football and ride our bikes, so that was just an added bonus in terms of the development. Both my wife and I work in the city and sometimes long hours. The buses are walking distance, and as I understand, about 20 minutes to the city. If we're looking for a pleasure ride to the city, there is also a ferry about 1k down, which, you know, will add a different dimension to our travel. I think I'm excited for my son. I think he's going to be rapt to be able to go take a ferry to the city from basically from home. So it's going to be he's going to enjoy that experience, no doubt.